Florida authorities release a footage of a block party with 3,000 people that ended with arrest. And this is out of the Insider. And so this is not the only gathering with 3,000 or more people. Unfortunately, there have been other gatherings that have cost lives even. And so here it is pictured here. Florida authorities say some 3,000 people gathered for a block party on May the 16th. On Monday, the police chief noted in a press conference that the public has been urged to avoid large gatherings due to the risk of the spreading of coronavirus or COVID-19. Florida is the first of its three-phase reopening plan and has advised residents to avoid social gatherings of more than 10 people. Authorities say that they have made 7 arrests that night, starting after they saw 2 men exchange a gun, but residents expressed concern that the officers were unfairly targeting black attendees. So Florida authorities have released footage showing thousands of people gathering a block party in May the 16th in Spring Hill, despite the social distancing guidelines warning against large gatherings. So Volusia County Sheriff Office released the footage. And so you're going to see that footage in a few minutes after some partygoers accused deputies of targeting black residents and making arrests. And so here's the problem with all of this. We have seen racial profiling, but this right here is just outright abusing the social distancing, the fact that there's a pandemic once again, and using the previous incidences that have happened, like Ahmaud Arbery and some of the other people who have been gunned down by police. We understand that, we get that. But this right here, you're breaking the law, and you're also putting not only your life in danger, many other lives in danger. And so you're using these issues as an excuse to try to break the law. And so that doesn't excuse for what you're doing here. And so the sheriff's office said that deputies had intervened only after seeing someone point a long gun out of the passenger side window of a moving vehicle, and when they saw the 2 men exchange a gun, which is another thing that's putting lives in danger, after arresting the men and tasing one of them, who Chitwood said resisted arrest. Officers were hit with a cup of alcohol, sucker punched, and another partygoer who fled the scene and hit with a bar stool and a mason jar, according to the sheriff, Mike Chitwood. And so the behavior that occurred here overnight was dangerous, senseless, unacceptable, and an embarrassment to the community. So Chitwood said that in a statement posted online, none of it will deter law enforcement from coming back when we're needed. So the press conference on Monday, DeLand Police Chief Jason Unberger noted that the public has been urged to avoid these large gatherings due to the risk of the spread of COVID-19, or better known coronavirus. So the footage that you're about to see showed thousands of partygoers mingling without wearing masks and without maintaining social distancing of 6 foot distance from one another. So Florida is in the first of its 3-phase reopening plan. Insider Haven Orichoio S.E. Gracitz has reported. And so it advised residents to avoid these large gatherings, social gatherings of more than 10 people. And not only was this a public safety issue, it was a public safety issue, but it also was a matter of public health. And so Umberger said that May 18th press conference, no one should be getting together in large groups of 50 or more. And so the coronavirus affects everyone in the community, and we're asking that everyone's cooperation in this matter, Umberger said. So 7 people were arrested, and 2 law enforcement officers were injured in this whole scene. And so the event began as a block party to commemorate a resident who was murdered in 2008, but it grew chaotic, and in the evening, when the after party occurred, according to the West Volusia Bacon, which quoted several attendees who complained about the deputy's conduct. And so this is what they do to black people, is what someone said, quote unquote. One attendee told the news outlet. It's not fair. Well, we understand that, but there's huge numbers of people here, and there's a pandemic, and the pandemic is not over. They don't have any medicine as of yet that has proven that it's effective. And even though they have one that has been approved by the FDA, it hasn't been proven that it is released to everyone yet, and that everyone has access to it, and that it is proven that it works on everyone. And this pandemic is been long drawn out. There's a lot of people that are scared, a lot of fear, a lot of worry that the spread is going to spike again, and this is not helping the situation whatsoever. And so they're trying to help all of the people in the communities for their own safety and own good. We're even seeing little mystery illnesses in children now. And so the large gatherings seem to be where the spread of this usually occurs most rapidly. And so this is why they're trying to have people refrain from these large gatherings. It would have been different if this was a smaller, get together and people were spread apart. But this is like 3,000 people. There's no excuse. And then the people were having guns and drawing them out the window. So I just wanted to add that in there. And so we seen what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, but this right here is no excuse. So another woman who spoke to the outlet questioned why the party goers were not simply allowed to enjoy themselves that night. It's as if they don't get it. So another woman spoke out in the outlet and questioned why they couldn't enjoy themselves. So we are human too. Black Lives Matter. Oh, come on, people. If Black Lives Matter, then why have you have 1,000 or more or 3,000 or more people during a pandemic, which clearly states that if you have more than 10 or more than 50 people, that it's a possibility somebody could be infected and could spread, and it could also lead to people's death or sickness or grave illness. You're not concerned about Black lives when you do that. So that's my personal feeling on that. So don't use the Black Lives Matter movement and Black lives to destroy Black lives because you want to just hang out and party and put lives at risk. So every life matters. Of course they do. So if it does, then why 3,000 people? So she said this, according to the West Volusia Bacon. And so why do they try to take our humanity, our pride, and it's not fair to us? And we're all human, and we all bleed the same blood. When he made us, he made y'all too. So this is sad, because this person is using some real true incidences and some true injustices to validate while they're breaking a health ordinance. So ultimately, the 7 people were arrested that night, according to the West Volusia Bacon, and Volusia County Sheriff's Office said in Facebook statement that one deputy sustained a minor knee injury and DeLand police officer sustained a minor head injury from being hit from a mason jar. That's not Black Lives Matter, y'all, to do stuff like that. It's disrespect. And it's dangerous, and you're putting your lives, your Black lives, in danger of catching the disease. So Umberger acknowledged residents' complaints about racial bias in the remarks Monday, saying that there continues to be some racial tension between Spring Hill and law enforcement. But this is not an excuse, you guys. It's not representative of who we are as people. It's only making things worse and making it harder for people. So this is a pandemic, and so just follow the rules of what goes on to keep yourself safe and other lives safe. So, and adding that, his officers have undergone impartial police training. So the Umbergers our Umberger also said that the arrest at the block party had nothing to do with race, which I believe even though there has been tensions, there's been a lot of tensions with law enforcement and communities of color, and it's been historical. But this is no reason to just be outright rude and malicious and just go against the grain and put your lives and many other lives at risk during a pandemic. There's no excuse for it. And so this could have been orchestrated a whole nother way where it wouldn't have put so many lives at risk and it wouldn't have caused all this attention. And so it has more to do with public safety and law order, which I agree in that sense. And so to again, we have to think about the fact that this is a pandemic. It isn't over yet, and it is long and drawn out. And we have a lot of, you have people that are introverted and people that are extrovert, and they just want to get out. And so they are lifting some of the restrictions, but to have 3,000 people gather together, there's no excuse for it. And so that's not showing that you care about Black lives by doing that during a highly infectious, highly contagious disease that could be easily spread with these large gatherings. So without further ado, I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to let this go. Just take a look at all the people that are gathered. And the cars are lined up all the way around.
I did before they said no more vehicles. She can walk the food in if she needs to, if she needs it that bad. So they're all backed up now. They're parking on the sidewalk. They're all the way down here to High Street. Before you know it, they're going to be parking along 15A. I'm already counting about 15 cars already. Yeah, no one can be parked on the sidewalk. If they already parked and left, I'll call TNS, just let me know. I'll go make an announcement. A lot of them are still getting out of their cars.
Mike, one of the problem areas now up here by the Delaware Street is the park. Massive Delaware is addressing the issue of
traffic moving? We're trying to get them out. There's nothing moving because there's cars blocking, but I think if we pull the 6 patrol cars up here, it'll probably get these people moving along. Oh, there's probably 1,000 or 2 people right here at Lisbon and Stone. So I think if we pull a couple patrol cars up here with the lights on, it'll start making people move. I'm coming right now, pushing my way through the crowd. Anonymous?
it is anonymous.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, does that help at all? Yeah, come on. Air 1, you reading?
Yeah, good.
I can't get it down. We need to come up. You got it up running?
Yeah, step 4.
Do we keep pushing? Yeah, we can hold it for a little bit longer. It's emptying out quite a bit. Stop.
Okay, where do you need me to go? I can push through here as quick as you need me to. About another 50 yards, but that's kind of say 40 yards behind you. Just kind of split this up a little bit. Bavani, hold what you got right there. And 91 is about 2 car lengths behind Bavani. Yeah, Bavani, hold what you got. I'm going to move up to the intersection here at Lisbon and break up this crowd. Alright. I think they were running it until 10, so just so we don't have a big problem, let's let them run it till 10 as long as they behave. I think that's what they were scheduled for. Alright, when I see Lincoln, I'll let them know it's 10 o'clock and they're shutting down. happens too, periodically. At 10 o'clock, they're getting shut down. Got some folks starting to climb on the back of a SUV up here. I'm walking up to it right now. John, watch your back. I missed that cloud down here, sorry.
Just 14, the crowd is definitely coming to Goers from the Dell.
No one behind us.
A newer model, burgundy and hollow.
Running to the same bank, I guess I'm running back and walk for the takedown. We got this feeling. What is that? I was in that bitch when the different pack daily. Now I'm out this bitch, got the streets going crazy. Streets going mad.
Look who it is!
It's a car, not a seat.
Oh, matter. It's on to sit on.
Alright, well, go stand over there then, 'cause we're in the road. Excuse me. You know, man? Well, I gotta get by.
Get out of the road! Get out of the road! You're good, boss. Go! Watch out! Watch out! Hey! You want to stop them up there? Hey! Hey! Get out of the road! Hey, whose car is this? This car needs to move. Hey, we're calling the tow truck. This car needs to move.
I teach you how to give yourself a self-isolation haircut.
Hey! Hey! Hands up! Hands up! Put your fucking hands up! Hey! Put your fucking hands up! Put your fucking hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get his fucking head! He threw the gun back there! He threw the gun back there! We're heading there. Stop chasing. Wait, stop! You ain't... Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. Get back. Hey, he's caught. Bullshit. Get back. Central Units in District 6, please. Get back! He has a gun! Get back!
You hit me in my face. Y'all don't know if he could be a bitch or not. Don't touch him like that.
5 X-ray 10, David Alberton, with the county. Back up, or you're going to go to jail too. Back up, back up, back up. I got him right there, red cup, right here.
That was not me. Don't put that on me. He ain't do shit.
Motherfucker.
Hey, he ain't do shit.
Hey, there's some more people down here. I don't care if it's fucking Deltona.
He ain't do that.
Don't worry about it. We got our logo. Come on, good. Back it up. Just back it up. Shit. You good? Yeah, buddy, you good? Yep. Good, sweet, man. Hell yeah. I'm hot. Welcome to D-Land. Woo! That guy's down court. Court put them down. Signal 0. One of them threw the beer bottles at Cass's car, skipped off the front of the top. We got to do this at the end. As we were walking away, they tried to hit us with a chair. And then the other guy hit us in the face of the bottle. I don't fucking know this guy. I couldn't tell you what it is. We got the guy 2 for 2. I know the guy with the gun. The other guy. Yeah, so 10-15. A male, and a female. Additional. She got all the female. Can't fucking leave. So, now you guys. What? I got the last one. Beer bottle. Oh, I heard one right behind me. Yeah, that was me. While we went around this way, I tie out and like toss her. I've been hit in the head with a beer bottle. I've had a rifle flagged at me. It's going great.
This is the worst it's been here in a long time. Oh, yeah. This is mid-90s right here. I haven't seen it like this since Tommy was a deputy.